Hey everyone, welcome to the Middle School Visual Arts PLC group. My name is Alicia Montgomery and I'm the moderator for this group. I'm so glad that you joined this community because it was designed just for you. Our goal is to collaborate and support each other as we navigate the craziness of visual arts middle school teaching. Whether you're the only one in your system or one of many, we know you're going to find things that you're going to enjoy. In order to make this as beneficial as possible for everyone, make sure that you subscribe, check back often to see discussions and posts, and participate in our discussion questions. So this is the third episode of our Classroom and Materials Management PLC, and this one's dealing with cleanup. In my classroom, I have about 240 students go through my room every 2 days. And so if we don't kind of do a little bit of cleanup at the end of every class, it gets really messy really quickly. So one of the things that I train my students on from the very first day is their chores. So after we've worked all day, we've had our daily drawing and our studio time, we stop class about 5 minutes early, and then each student has a chore that they do, and then I will check each group before they leave. So my seat one, I have between 5 and 6 students at each group. So they know what their seat numbers are. And so my seat one people are the ones that put up their sketchbooks and the yellow boxes that they store those in every day. My seat two people, we have trays that are on their tables where we put any shared materials. And so they're going to wipe off the trays and sanitize those materials. My seat three people are my table cleaners. So I have some little handheld sweepers. They'll sweep the table with those and then use some special cloths to clean the tables. My seat four people check underneath the tables for crayons, color pencils, scraps of paper, anything like that needs to be put away. We have brooms, and if they need to sweep, they grab a broom and sweep it up. My seat five people put up my portfolios, and my seat six people handle any extra materials that we have. So for painting, they'll bring me the paintbrushes and the water buckets. They'll handle the clay materials, all of those kinds of things. And so I get with them on a project by project basis about what those seat six people exactly are supposed to do. And so if all of my students do these few little things, it just takes them a couple of minutes, and we keep our room nice and clean and organized. The cleanup materials that I use, I have some cloths like these on the left to help cut down on paper towels, and they just have little hooks on the wall, so they grab one and wipe their tables off really quickly, and then hang those back up so they can dry. On the right, these are just some cleaning cloths that the custodians get me. They're recycled from somewhere, and they have some just spray bottles of cleaner that the school refills. It's the same cleaner they use in the cafeteria. And so we use those for days when it's really messy, like if we've been doing clay or painting. And so they know where to find all of those materials. At the sink, to help cut down on mess there, I make sure and tell them, you've got to wait your turn, single file, by the counter. There shouldn't be more than 2 people at the sink at a time. And you're going to go to the end of the line. Don't cut in front of others or horseplay while we're in line. Keep hands, feet, objects, materials, water to yourself. And I have this posted right by the sink. You can see my matrix there by our soap dispenser. I tell them to make sure they wash their materials and return them to their art home. Okay, whether that's on the drying rack there or back at their tables or in some other designated space. And then we also talk about paying attention to their surroundings. Make sure you're not backing up without looking behind you because you might back into somebody that's holding a paint tray. Just different rules and things like that. We make sure that I go over them extensively before we start doing anything messy like painting or clay. And then I also have some specialty chores. I always have a sink wiper, a counter straightener and wiper, and then a numbered materials checker. So they check for things like rulers and erasers, making sure they were all returned, making sure all my pencils were put back. My sink wiper just takes a sponge and a little spray and wipes down the sinks so there's not any paint or clay or anything like that left on them. I usually pick students who really like to clean or like to help to do these jobs. And then at the end of every quarter, we do some individual cleanup. And one of the things that they do is to get all of their artwork out of their portfolio and their sketchbooks out of their box. But then we also sort the crayons, make sure they have all their colors, replenish any that went missing. And we do the same thing for color pencils. And then they turn those bags back into me so that I can sanitize them and use them for the next quarter. And then after we do that, each group has a more extensive job. And so we do some quarterly group cleanup as well. How do I do this and make sure that my students are taking part and not just playing? Is I make it a part of their grade. I use it as part of their work ethics grade. And this holds them accountable and it cuts down horseplay. And I tell them it's an all or nothing kind of thing. So either you do it and you do it well and you earn all your points, or if you're not participating or if you're horseplaying, then you lose all of your points. And I make it be in different sections of the room. So they're not all on top of each other. They're staying with their group, and it's really quick. Instead of me spending a whole day cleaning up and getting everything ready for next quarter, we can do it a few minutes in every class, like 10 or 15 minutes, and then it's done, and we're ready for the next quarter to start. So some of the chores that I use with this are to clean, like I'll have each group cleaning their tables really, really good. I'll have a group clean one of the counters really good. So they take everything off, wipe it down, tell me if there's stuff that won't come off so I can scrape that up. I have a group clean out and organize the cabinets, take everything out, wipe down the shelves and put everything back in there really neatly. We clean and organize the shelves in the back of the room, kind of dust those off. I have a couple of people clean the whiteboard. So I give them the whiteboard cleaner and the cloth that we use, and they do that. I have students use special monitor cleaner to clean the monitors. We dust. I have a group that wipes the window ledges. I have students that wipe off the fronts of the cabinets and the doors. And then usually I pick my messiest group to clean the paint palettes and the paint brushes at the end of the quarter so they're nice and fresh and ready for the next group. Some of the challenges that I face when we're cleaning up is usually horseplaying. They want to kind of pick at each other, push each other, poke each other. So the way that I deal with horseplaying is the first offense, their student's going to be subjected to our defined consequences. So the fix-it area, writing sentences. Second offense, the student's going to be given alternative work for the next class period and a parent contact. And then the third offense is the student will be given alternate work for the remainder of the project, and I'll notify administration. So if they can't clean up after themselves, they don't get to participate. So if they fail to clean up at all, they're not going to do it, right? Then they lose work ethics points and they're reminded of their responsibility on the first time. The second offense, they'll be given alternative work for the next class, and I'll contact their parents. And then the third offense is the student will be given alternate work for the remainder of that project. It will be on their behavior log, and I'll notify administration. And they usually come in and have a talk with them, and usually we don't have any more trouble after that. So these are just some of the ways that I handle cleanup in my classroom. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to message me or let me know. And thank you for joining me. Please take a few minutes to participate in our discussion question. I can't wait to hear your wonderful ideas and hear some of your ideas that you share. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our updates, posts, or discussions. Thank you very much.